All right, so I guess we'll start it off with the recording. Hey guys, so we're not going to go over too much into detail with this. Not that I don't think that we're entirely against the concept of talking more about it, considering that the news around it has been increasing as the days have been going on. And we're obviously not going to be waiting for the stream guys to show up. This is just going to be for the recording of the YouTube. So anyone who shows up, hey, this is what we're talking about. It's been a really crappy week.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of things that have happened. One of them, we definitely want to be go into detail about. The other one, it just came into my head as well that I do kind of want to talk about, but not as much.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been a lot that's happened.
Yeah, and we've done this once before. We like to keep that podcast energy up as much as possible, but we also want to give respect to these stories as they do come up.
Right.
So we're going to just be talking about it a little bit beforehand, and then podcast will continue. We apologize for audio quality. We're not in the best audio setup right now. This is probably the closest we've ever gotten for a podcast.
So I'm, just a quick little fun aside for the, before we hit into the rough stuff. That little sound that people have been hearing in our streams and in our, podcast stuff, it's finally gone. But unfortunately, that's because the interface has finally died.
Yes.
Which means we need to go find a new interface. So over the course of the next couple of days that we're going to be doing streaming, it's going to be stuff from the Blue Yeti. So
Blue Yeti.
We're kicking it old school.
Old reliable. As much shit as I've talked about this thing, God bless it, it's still here, it works. Still going.
Yeah, it's working better than the interface.
It sure is.
So the one thing I just remembered off the top of my head that I kind of wanted to talk about, but not obviously to length because I think everyone's already had their piece on it. The Etika death was something that happened in the time as well, and I think that everything that could be said has been said. I don't think there's anything that we're going to really add to the narrative. What I do want to kind of bring up is the fact that, we did clown on him a little bit the last time, and we do want to apologize because it is hard. I think that there was a big problem that came up with who he was and how he handled it, that a lot of people really just didn't know how to approach the whole situation. So I've been seeing a lot of people demonizing the concept of like people going, kind of blowing it off. The problem is, in situations like that, you deal with depression like that, is if you don't want help, you make it very clear, you make it very evident, and you push people away. And it can kind of just come off like someone is having a mental breakdown. And I think that in today's day and age, we're so desensitized to a lot of the things that happen online because of the fact that we see this kind of shit happen every single day. We hear people like manufacture breakdowns. It's hard to kind of separate what's real and what isn't.
Yeah. And
it especially gets worse when someone like Etika, who had a personality that was very much about the concept of, just really trying to be an entertainer to the best of his ability every single step of the way. And he would use any kind of tragedy, not in a way to make people laugh at it, but to kind of just lean more into helping others through it. And for him, his own tragedy was the things that he was going through, which brought him to that point. And he very much played into the idea of like, haha, I'm okay, everything's okay, it's all fine. And it wasn't, and it sucks. And I'm not going to say I told you so to a couple of people that I know personally, but yeah, this wasn't a joke. The moment I first knew, I was like, no, it doesn't seem right that he would be acting like this. It definitely still seems like a call for help. Like, no, it's a publicity stunt. And it's like, well, so obviously our condolences to them, and we hope to God we never have to report on a story or even talk about it ever again, because it's just not fun. And then speaking of even worse, not fun.
Within the last 24 hours of us recording this on Thursday, the July 20th is what, the 20th, I believe?
It's the 18th today.
It's the 18th. I'm losing track of time. Last night, a fire broke out at Kyoto Animation, the studio responsible or behind such amazing shows like K-On!, Haruhi Suzumiya, Violet Evergarden, Lucky Star, Hibike, Euphonium, like so many. Every time you've seen like a Sakuga clip and you've gone, wow, there's so much life in like every frame. Some of the most beautiful animation in the industry. Fire broke out last night or during the day for them, and resulted in quite a large loss of life.
Almost half the staff is gone.
Almost, yeah.
73 people were in that building, and I think 35 deaths were confirmed.
Yeah.
And this is a chilling blow to the industry for a lot of reasons. One, there's a lot of stories coming out. Like I said, we don't want to focus on a whole lot of that bullshit. We don't want to give that guy any more credence. This was a murder. This was a mass murder. It was the most insane and largest mass murder since World War II in Japan.
Yeah.
It was a absolute fucking tragedy. Like, about top to bottom, there's nothing about this that can be memed on. I'm glad that I'm not seeing anybody fuck around with this, because there's been a lot of crazy shit that people meme. The thing we just brought up, Etika, people still memeing on that because people just fucking lack empathy. And thankfully, a lot of people are finally starting to kind of like realize like this was a miserable situation, and it's even a deeper, darker blow to the animation industry as a whole, because KyoAni represented, for a lot of people, as I've learned more about it, I've always appreciated KyoAni's just in like core style and just how much. It's so like just looking at a frame of Violet Evergarden in motion is even if I've never seen the anime, one of the most intensely like religious experiences from like, if you look at it, it's so fucking
I
beautiful.
Understand. Yeah, like, it invokes a very powerful, like, same thing with A Silent Voice, the movie that they came out with recently.
I'd love to watch that.
And like I mentioned before on Twitter, I've seen bits and pieces of a few of their shows, but I haven't given them nearly enough the attention I think they deserve. So, starting probably tomorrow, I'm going to start working my way through their whole catalog of work. But yeah, no, they really kind of pushed the boundaries of like what like TV animation could be. You could argue they were responsible for kind of sparking a lot of the interest in slice of life shows, in cute girls doing cute things with K-On! That was one of the first ones that really, really blew up. And so they were a massive influence on the industry.
And then, I mean, Haruhi
Suzumiya, yeah.
Haruhi has an entire like religion based around it.
The original based god, Haruhi Suzumiya.
We needed that.
And this was their main studio that this happened at. They do have a couple of studios across Japan. Almost immediately, Sentai Filmworks, who's responsible for licensing a lot of their shows over here and doing physical releases, started up a GoFundMe for them. And also, KyoAni, on their website, they have a section where you can basically purchase digital art directly from them. So if you want to help support them and help get them back on their feet, there are a lot of cheap ways that you can do that you can offer support, because, this was absolutely horrible over the last 24 hours, seeing how this has kind of transpired and gotten worse.
And learning more about KyoAni was also a huge experience for me too, because we have always kind of poked fun and made jokes about how the animation industry in Japan is absolutely fucked. I mean, you think about Ufotable, it's just constant tax fraud. There's a reason for that, because animation costs a fuck ton of money, and the amount of manpower and man hours you need to put into stuff like that is substantial. And KyoAni represented a just massive divide in the Japanese workplace. It was given the gold standard of Japanese work environments, where they treated their animators like fucking people. They weren't just commodities to be traded off after every couple of years.
Yeah, they have a small. They did have a main studio, a couple of smaller studios, but from everything that I've heard, it was a very tight knit, like, family of people making these shows, and you can even see, like, just based off of the people there today on a Thursday, that's nothing compared to what like A1 Pictures is like the amount of animators they currently have working. Like, KyoAni was still, at its core, a very small, tight-knit group of people.
You think about it, it's like 20 people average per floor. About 4 floors, something like that. And it's like, you're gonna know everybody's name on the floor you're on, and you're gonna know everybody's name whenever, like, you're gonna know everybody. And there are not only are there families missing, you know, daughters, sons, fathers, like missing just family. There's going to be people who have to walk back into work and see an empty desk, and that person was probably super integral. I mean, one of the largest losses was the director. I forget his name, unfortunately. It was confirmed that the director for things like Nichijou, Haruhi, Magi Brilliant Park is gone. He's dead. And it was... thinking about it now is even just so surreal.
Yeah.
It's because it's like you're sad, but you're also... There's also a moment of like... I'm glad that the legacy they left behind is so impactful. Like they weren't just like, you know, a statistic. Like no one in that building is going to be a stat.
Yeah.
Everyone in that building is a human being that left behind just a legacy of hard work, striving for perfection, and just being so fucking on it, and really and doing so in a way that paved the way for how animation studios should work, how they should treat their staff, how they should be, which is in Japan's fucking miserable work culture. Unbelievable that they were like these are the people who they help foster and facilitate a family. And the fact that it's still weird to me that there's going to be people who show up to work in the next couple, like however long it takes for the building to be repaired. How do you go back to that?
Yeah. How
do you find the motivation to do anything on that? And it's something that I would never wish on my worst enemy.
Yeah. And as much as I generally don't like saying things that are like is kind of stuff just like, my heart goes out, like my condolences, because I never feel like it's enough.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. I hope that everyone and everyone's families are able to get back up on their feet, as soon as as soon as possible, and that, as much love as I can send over there as I possibly can. Because again, like I said, I don't have the personal connection to a lot of their work that I know a lot of people have, but even as an outsider, their importance and their quality is clearly apparent. Like they were one of the best, if not the best, studios out right now,
right,
still making anime.
Yeah.
So again, if you find time, if you're able to support them in any way you can, I mean, the best thing I think you can do is just to go back, pick one of their shows out, maybe one you haven't seen before, you've heard good things about. I'm going to start Violet Evergarden probably tonight while I work on the rest of the stuff I got to have ready for tomorrow. Just go back and enjoy their work. I
think that's going to be the best thing that anybody can do. I mean, aside from just directly, obviously, profit and stuff like that. Yeah. But, as a company, as you said, they've already got backups and stuff like that. It's less about, for me, it's less about the money. It's more about people should probably, it's in a weirdly, oddly dark way. This might be the one thing that gets me back on to watching stuff again, because it's just like, it's not the idea that there's minds out there that came up with this stuff, that really that were the driving creative forces behind the stuff. They're gone. Like there's going to be more people, sure, but that creative brilliance, that unique vision they brought to the table, especially that director, is
gone before their time.
Right. And it's not in a natural disaster. It was taken. That's the rub of it. It was taken, and it's not fair. And like I said, we're trying not to go so hard because we really don't want to bring ourselves down for the podcast. Yeah. I hope that fucking person rots. He's done. He's done, dude.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go pick out a show. I've seen a couple episodes of Nichijou. If you really need something uplifting, something you can just laugh at, the show's absolutely brilliant. And if you need to cry, they've got more than enough shows that they've made that will be able to do that for you.
Go watch. If you're not going to watch an anime, go watch Haruhi, the classroom fight. Right fucking now.
Yeah.
It's sick.
You can pause the podcast. Fight. You can come back.
It's so good. It's such amazing animation. I love it.
Yeah.
So on to This is a bit of a. So we're going to try to bring up the
Up
positive
to
energy.
to the start of the podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Hey, so unfortunately, as some of you who are kind of frequent comers to the viewers of the stream, and you guys have been around for a while, there's some of you who are aware of my boy Moose. Moose, aka Mike Battaglia, is a young gentleman who has unfortunately been affected with a form of leukemia. I will learn more about what exactly it is. I think it's chronic myeloid leukemia.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the rarest forms of leukemia in the entire world, and he has unfortunately actually been hospitalized this week as he's been diagnosed with another illness that has kind of been putting him out of it. And we're trying to accelerate the process towards getting him ready for his stem cell transplant. And in order to do so, we need to get him to a remission state, which means that he needs to go through severe chemo, intense chemo. In the meantime, his fiance has just started the GoFundMe to kind of supplement funds for all of that stuff. So in the next coming months, they're going to be doing things like they have to move to Tampa. They have to have a place that's 30 minutes away from the hospital.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of hell for them for the next couple of months. And I know we're a small community. I know that, there's not a whole lot of us who have a whole lot of money to donate. But, so this weekend's going to be all about signal boosting to people who can. We've gotten an immense amount of support. I think if I pull up the tweet so far, for a tweet with the GoFundMe, has at least 90 some odd retweets, which is fantastic.
Which is not good.
Good.
Nice. Good.
And I'm hoping that we get some people to show up and at least throw some cash. Shout out to Robo, threw $100 at my boy. Shout out to the guy.
Big thank you
so
to
much,
Robo.
But yeah, we're going to take that situation, we're going to spin it on its head, we're going to make some fun out of it. I hit Max with a cross-up coming this Saturday. I want to say that is the 20th. Let me go ahead and pull up the date.
Today is the 18th, Saturday is the 20th, yes.
Yes, so Saturday the 20th. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, it'll probably be tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. We're going to be doing a 24-hour stream. The stream itself won't be 24 hours straight, in the sense that we will be kind of shutting down to move to other parts.
Yes.
But we're going to be going for the next 24 hours.
We're not doing the cop out 12 hours one day, 12 hours another day. We're starting 8 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
We have multiple blocks of content planned out already that we're still kind of shuffling around. We're hoping to have as much of an open door policy as we can. We'll have people coming in and out the apartment to be on certain games.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a lot of community stuff with you guys. I think Dead by Daylight and SCP were two that you've already decided on.
Right.
We're still looking into other options.
We're looking into options for SCP, mainly because we need to find a server that's our own, so we don't have the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. SCP fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Silly memers.
And obviously... It's going to just be a night to see how much we can get. If we can't get anything, hey guys, we appreciate you for even showing up and just showing some love. If we do get something, it doesn't matter. If it gets like $1, it's something we tried, we have to fucking try. As far as I'm concerned, it's just I love the boy. Some of you all actually have had the opportunity to not meet Moose, but you've heard of Moose and his funny goings-ons, and I'll definitely have a little bit of an intro set up as we go on to it, to really kind of hammer home why you people should help this boy out. Yep. And I just want to go ahead and say thanks to everybody who's still listening. Thanks to everybody who's watching the playthroughs. We've got some more content coming your way on the channel. We've got some more content coming your way on the Twitch channel.
We have plans. One other thing I can 100% say about that 24-hour stream is we will be opening with World 2 of Mario Maker.
Hey.
And I'm happy people like that. The levels are getting slightly better, but they're still bad. But
I'm still also just as bad, so it's fine.
The block of time we've set up is maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, is there anything else that we had to do? We're still pre-podcast, so if there's any...
Thanks. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
so
for
much.
Even just supporting all our stuff. Again, we're we're ostensibly a Let's Play channel. It happened without us noticing, but we're happy people are still enjoying the content. And there's other stuff. There's always other stuff at least being thought about.
There's an idea that we came up with today. That Max, I gave him a name, and Max did his smart thing where he says something really fucking creative, and I go, damn it, I didn't think of that. That's why I have you here.
Yeah. So please look forward to more alleged content. And without further ado, we'll be starting up Not Another Podcast, episode 26.
Stick around. No, it's for them.
It is for them. Okay.
I do want to talk about the mix-up that you totally hit me with the other day that I was, like, not prepared for.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
it kind of goes into what I've been watching or plan to watch. Okay. So we can open with that if you'd like. So
let's do it. You go right ahead.
So, if you watched our summation of the anime year, the rest of the anime year, you may remember a show, two shows that we brought up. One that we said, oh, that looks kind of cute, and oof.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks kind of cute was, if it's for my daughter, I'd even kill the Demon Lord. Something like that.
Right.
Nice, wholesome fantasy series about a father finds a girl in the woods, half demon, raises her as his own daughter. It looked really cute. Daughter looked cute. It looked like a nice, just wholesome little fantasy, kind of slice of life, probably going to get a little action-packed a little later on type thing. And then there was Do You Love Your Mom and her multi-hit attacks. But it's two. And her double multi-hit attacks. Mom Isekai.
Right.
Mom Isekai where guy goes to another world with his mom due to a government plot and it gets the harem, and we don't know if his mom's in the harem, and we said, ugh. Oof, moms.
If you ain't fucking your boys.
Yeah.
You fucking... No, what was it?
If you ain't fucking your sister, you're fucking your mom. Is that
no,
it?
If you ain't fucking your teacher, you're fucking your boys. If you ain't fucking your boys, you're fucking your mom.
That's what it was. That was the theme for the rest of the year, because teachers have made a pretty big comeback. Well, as it turns out, Trapped in Another World with My Mother is actually a really wholesome comedy.
Apparently the most wholesome.
About a mother just embarrassing the shit out of her loser nerd kid in front of his harem.
I would love to see, because that basically is like, what if Kirito just showed up with his fucking mom, and his mom was also way better at stuff than he was?
Like, I think one of the first two episodes is like, the hero gets his harem, but his mom's like, I'm gonna help you pick out your wife.
Oh, that's awesome!
I'm gonna sit down like each one, and we're gonna find you. And
I love that, actually.
It's just, yeah, and then in the other show, he marries his daughter. So,
no!
Yeah. Apparently, by light novel 7, he's holding her up in a wedding gown, and she's fully grown. Because they're not blood related, and she's a demon, so...
Oh my god, why?
There's the mix.
Yeah, the mix is... Oh no. Because there's going to be a whole arc of, like, puberty where he's like, oh, I never noticed the. That's
if
always
you-
the fucking one that gets me.
Oh,
is
God.
it's the fucking
I
trope.
never noticed.
I never noticed how much of a woman she was before. Because of course you didn't, you fuck. She was 10.
If you hold the volumes up next to each other, it's like that Naruto opening where he's running and he's getting older, and then she's just jumping into his arms as his wife. Like it's awful. So hey, recalibrate which direction you're going in your summer
That
viewing.
sounds so. The mom one sounds so fucking adorable. I love that concept of like the harem guy finally getting his like, no, trust no hoe, use a rubber.
That being said, it could still get bad. But she's not my mom.
Remember, it's always okay if it's someone else's mom. It's the rule.
It's the rule.
It's why incest is the fucking top leading thing to go to on Pornhub right now.
Man, we really swapped gears after the intro theme.
Oh, jeez.
So that leads us into what I've been watching, which is neither of those shows.
Incest pornography.
Incest. Yeah, you caught me. I've been watching. I've finished one show. I wasn't able to finish JoJo because of baseball or something.
All right.
The actual reason is because something else took JoJo's time slot, but it had 1 hour-long episode left, so I don't know why they didn't just air it. So it's coming out on the 28th now. It's a two-parter. But hey, what does Gold Experience Requiem do? It makes less sense than King Crimson. But it's still good. It's still JoJo. Demon Slayer is still really good. Good job of Fotable, Just keep dodging those phone calls. You'll be just fine. Like I was telling you, I watched We Never Learn something Boku what the show that I showed you, and it's like, hey, look at this cute girl with the orange short hair and the glasses.
The one who needs to make friends, or
no? Oh, I did watch that. It was very cute. But no, this was the harem show. The first one where I'm like, yeah.
The one where we said there's always
a
boy equivalent to that as well, or
no? It was the one where I said the theme of the year is hot teachers.
Oh,
because I want to fuck your teachers. Not your teachers, but like.
What the fuck specifically your teachers?
But yeah, started that out. I'm like, yeah, it'll be just like a harem thing. Whatever. I haven't seen one of those in a while. I liked everybody, and it was really good. And apparently it's also a Shonen Jump series that's still ongoing, which means that it's going to get a second season. And also, it was the one where I saw the purple-haired girl with the short hair. I'm like, not that short. Not my type.
Yeah.
She's really funny. Show was pretty good. I don't watch a lot of harem stuff, though, so I'm sure there was a tropey as shit and a total retread of everything, but I don't know what those tropes are, so I had a good time.
No,
and all the girls were
would
super cute.
I mean, harem. When I think harem anime, I think fucking Demon King Daimon. I think that that just completely. If it had fan service, that's fine. I think
it definitely has a lot of fan service.
I think DxD. I think exploitative.
Oh,
I think the one where it's like there are moments where you could just feasibly jerk off right now.
No, it doesn't get like that. It never gets to that point.
Right. So I think that's that airs more into the ecchi territory where it's like it's cute anime girls being kind of like a little risque, but nowhere near as bad as like
And
I am a pervert and I'm powered up by my demon gauntlet through my pervert.
This one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It turns out that they were all best girl, which now leads to my new problem that I didn't know I'd have, where it's like, I like all of these girls. I don't like the self-insert, even though he's funny. Girl, you need a new man.
Ooh.
You need to find someone, because you're great. You gotta find somebody.
That would honestly be the best way to go after that trope, is to start it off start the harem anime off traditionally it's all of these really amazing best girl characters, but the main character's a piece of shit, and the series you actually morphs into them learning how to respect themselves and then go off and do things for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would be an actual fucking decent way to read, like, to tell a harem anime, and completely, like, it's a deconstruction of the harem genre, you know?
Yeah. So the full title is Bokuben We Can't Study. It's the English title, and I will just so it's on record, Best Girl was not who I thought it would be. I'm all in on Fumino Furuhashi, which is the blue-haired, long-haired girl. She's fantastic, and she had one of the funniest scene reaction things I've seen in anime in a long time. It was great. Cool. Great. And then the only two new things, Dr. Stone started airing. Everyone said Dr. Stone was cool and great. It's cool and great. Nice.
There you go.
Way to stick the landing, Shonen Jump once again. And the other show I started watching is Fire Force, which is way more great than I thought it would be. Because it's not cool shonen about firefighters, it's cool shonen about firefighters, but the fire's like a religious thing, and there's like, you're not like fighting cool fire monsters, you're like pacifying people who have turned into fire monsters. Like, it's really cool.
I'm pretty down with that.
I
was down with it the moment I saw the animation quality. I was like...
It's done by the writer, and I think the studio who did Soul Eater, which people tell me really good things about Soul Eater.
I think...
It's not as wacky, but it's...
Yeah, I think that's probably what turned me off of Soul Eater, is Soul Eater kind of reminds me... it has the same air of Rave something.
You're not gonna tell me Rave Master, are you?
Yeah, it has.
I'm massively angry.
Look! I'm just saying it. When I look at Soul Eater from far away, it has that same aura.
You squint and look far away.
I just think it's like when I see. Okay, you go to the intro. Like, I think it was airing on Adult Swim or something at some point.
Because I have to say, I gotta drive this home so badly because I've seen episodes of Rave Master recently.
Whoa!
And it's garbage.
Yeah, Rave Master sucks.
We watched it in the Discord.
Oh, wow.
And it was... Rave Master is bad.
Rave Master is fucking awful, but, like, that's what I'm saying, is, like, that's the unfortunate kind of cartoonish quality it has that this fucking thing did not. Like, it looked like it handled itself seriously, but not in, like, an overly serious, like...
Yeah.
It would have, like, completely fell on its face if anything happened.
It's comedic, and there's some goofy characters, but when it wants to get serious, like, it gets... serious. And in the first two episodes, each episode had a moment where I'm like, oh, this is something really special. And so I'm very excited to see where that goes. Also, I don't like the big smile with the pointy teeth. Don't like the sharp teeth. Except for this main character, because his is a nervous tick.
Oh, wow.
He's like, yeah, I'm actually really unhappy most of the time because people have said I was a demon since I was a child, but my nervous tick is smiling when I'm, like, stressed. Which I can relate to.
Very good.
It's very good. Watch Fire Force. If you don't watch anything else, watch Fire Force. I want to watch that Fate spinoff at some point. There's a couple shows I want to watch this season. I have to know what's going to happen with the mom now.
Like I said, at the beginning of the intro, and I just got to watch some of that stuff, and then I got to watch... I've been hearing so many good things about the mom anime. I really...
Do you want to watch the mom anime?
I do.
Let's watch the mom anime.
I do. I really do.
Hey, you know what? If nothing else gets you into anime, Phantasy Star Online 2's anime starts in October.
Which is a read. So someone was saying, please skip episode 4. They are. It's a retelling of episodes 1 to 3.
Yes.
In the screen, like the PSO storyline.
So I mean, they're probably gonna have to do 4 at some point, but.
I don't know.
Is it that bad that they might just skip it?
Do you know what 4 is?
No.
So 4 turns PSO 2 into an isekai.
Good. Okay, so it's not getting skipped. You've just confirmed it. Right here on stream.
No, because there's already an anime about PSO 2 that's like an isekai.
Yeah, but it's not PSO 2 the isekai.
No.
So
like, I don't remember a whole lot of it, but the idea is that in episode 4, you learn that you are in a game world. That you are a game character.
What?
And you step out into the real world.
Is that why I always see pictures of people in costumes and it just looks like fucking Tokyo? And
you're
city?
It's in Tokyo. There's the 2 maps in fucking PSO2. You can go from the caves, the fucking Sky Palace, to just Las Vegas or Tokyo.
See, that sounds awesome, and I think
that sounds really fucking cool.
Yes.
Until you realize that the whole story is around these three main two high school girl characters who grab an amnesiac child from the PSO2 universe and basically Shotoconning it up the whole time.
That's pretty rough.
It's really
it's
rough.
gotten rougher.
It's super rough.
I like the idea in theory still.
So the fact that episode 5 heads back into okay, we're on course, this is the fuck episode 4. I think they're dropping episode 4 from the canon and
maybe just retool it. I feel like you could fix it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and see what's actually happening in the storyline.
Yeah.
But I know that 4 is a massive, massive letdown in terms of everything. It did bring the best fucking boss monster, which is Trangadorn. So that's cool at least.
Is it a train?
It's a train.
I've seen Train Gador because you've showed me.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so no, you have to do episode 4. I want to see the train fight. Actually, I just saw my good friend Steven, Six Scott in the chat. There was another show I watched to completion recently.
Oh.
I finally sat down and watched
ReZero.
Yep. I don't get it fully. I enjoyed it. I liked it. This isn't this is the isekai to watch. This is the one. It's dark and gritty, because it is kind of dark and gritty, and people get murdered, but they get murdered all the time over and over again. And anytime something doesn't go right, main character he dies and he goes back and does it again. So I don't feel like there's any stakes. I like the characters kind of. I hated the main character most of the way through till the very end. We'll see what happens in season 2, but
did they ever establish the fact that he's there's something that's actually staying permanent, or no?
What do you mean?
Is there a permanent loss, or is he just constantly reliving the same day?
There are fixed points, and every time he gets back past a certain fixed point, up until the next time he dies, he'll go back to a different fixed point. But it's not clearly established when that fixed point is, or what causes it to change.
Okay.
I think it might be a day, but sometimes it's 3 days. It's really unclear how that power works right now, and all I'm hoping is that season 2 starts to explain it, and I'm kind of in a weird place where it's I want to know. I want to be able to get really into it. I might just start buying the light novels.
Because I just kind of heard about, or rather I
future stuff?
No. Not about ReZero. I was thinking about that weird thing where it's dying and being able to come back. Yeah, that was real fucking subtle.
Yeah, I tried to hide it. I couldn't.
I finally found the piece of media that does something that I haven't seen done before. It actually gives a sense of there's stakes. You ever heard the movie Happy Death Day? Have you heard of that?
I only know about Happy Death Day because I heard its sequel was called Happy Death Day to You.
Yes, which is fucking wild, by the way.
I hear it's not even a horror movie anymore.
No, it's
a weird time travel.
It's a weird time. So the second one's a weird time travel one. The stakes that they establish that you don't find out until a little obviously to the halfway point of the movie is the deaths are actually affecting her body.
Oh.
She's taking damage. And if she dies a certain amount of times, she will stay dead.
Okay.
And I was she's actually her body's breaking down. I thought that was actually something where it's oh, okay, that's good because it means that she can't just keep doing that. But in 2, in 2 there are literally just situations where she fucks something up, and I shit you not, there is a montage. Somehow she gets warped to an alternate universe of where she's supposed to be.
So it's an isekai.
So it's an isekai. So she's sitting there, and the knowledge that she's using is, okay, I have to get back, and I have to use the alternate world's version of this device to go back to my world and my timeline. But I can't do that because they keep fucking it up. And if I stay here past this timeline, I'm just I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. And in her head, she's like, oh, it's cool. Like, my mom's alive and all this shit's cool, but, like, my boyfriend doesn't know who I am, and the girl I hate's actually really fucking nice, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Like, and then she's, like, going back and forth. But what she does is she has to memorize every single, like, thing that they fucked up and then retell them every day. So she ends up becoming like a basically a mini genius, but she has to keep killing herself to reset.
Yeah.
So there's this montage of her jogging through the fucking thing, and she just sees a wood chipper and just jumps right in.
So,
and then there's hard cuts to her in a convenience store, just going, grabbing Drano, just fucking chugging it in the fucking aisle.
So that's great. The one thing I will not downplay ReZero for, it's not that fun when you die repeatedly. And the show does not make light of the fact it's like, no, it's pretty horrific, actually.
Yeah.
So, I like it a lot. This was a good season, or first season, to establish everything and kind of how things work. And we get a hint of who the main villain is. I need to see where it goes. The stuff with Rem makes me really weirded out. Which is the blue-haired girl everyone likes.
The one that people want to call her best girl?
Yeah. It's weird. She turns out to be really nice, but the first, she kills him twice. So, I don't know. I don't know how much you're willing to forgive and forget. Amelia is the best girl. The girl.
There it is. I was waiting for it. Because
it gets to a point where Subaru's like, man, he does the main character thing where it's like, man, I just want to help you and protect you, but it's not cool. It's really pathetic, and he looks like a crazy fucking person, which, again, I didn't like him for most of it, but I felt like that was the point, because in the second half of the first season, he just goes fucking nuts. He's insane, and she's one of the only people to go like, yeah, you're not helping me. I told you to do one thing and you didn't do it. So I think you're just doing this shit for you. I'm leaving, goodbye. And just leaves. For the last quarter of the season.
I just want to go ahead and make a call out to chat real quick. I've never seen people just completely turn on a man in
Look, and here's my thing. It's another point of find someone else.
Oh, wow.
I don't think she's a bad character. I like her. She's cute. But she killed this dude twice.
Right.
Maybe not him. Maybe find someone else.
Okay. Fair.
No. I like all the characters for the most part, except Subaru took a while. No.
Would you say it has that same problem that, dark and gritty anime have, where they try to, Ava it up? Where they try to, make a character that's like, oh, it's pathetic, and no, you're supposed to hate the character.
No. No, I wouldn't. Because there are also times... Because even the times where they try to turn it around, it's like, okay, he came to his senses and he's back. I'd still go... You're kind of a piece of shit, but you've been through a lot, so
yeah,
I'll let you have this win. But he says some dumb shit. It's a lot of things that would be cool, a character would say it in another show, and everybody go "Wow, you're so cool." Plays here "Wow, that was a really weird fucking thing for you to do," which is it's good. I like it. I don't know if it didn't blow my mind in any way, but I'm enjoying it. I'll watch the second season, and I'm probably going to pick up the light novels because I'm impatient.
It came at that time where it was the two main ones to watch were that and Konosuba. Yeah? I think they came out similar.
I think they came out kind of close together.
Right.
Their tones
very wildly different. I would watch Konosuba, but that first episode did not grab me at all. Which is a shame, because apparently the characters get way better and there's more fun and stuff.
In Konosuba?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that. So, again, it's because I don't like anime comedy that much. A lot of it doesn't land, but I felt like that show landed a lot, and maybe that's because I like those tropes so much. So there was more for me there, but yeah, I don't know. Again, maybe,
it just wasn't doing anything. For me, it didn't do anything particularly new in the field of comedy for anime. Whereas with the zombie, what's it fucking called?
Zombieland Saga.
Zombieland Saga. I wish I'd finished that. It's just one of those like.
No, you don't.
Really?
I liked that show and I liked the rest of it. It stops being like an Idol parody after those first couple of episodes, and it just becomes a good Idol show about zombies.
Okay.
It stays funny, but nothing is as funny as that rap battle. Ever.
Yeah.
And the CGI is very distracting. It doesn't get better. They just use it less and less, but it doesn't get better.
Yeah, I think Love Live kind of cornered the market on just.
They did it. They did it good. Love
CGI.
Live and Idolmaster. Congrats.
Because he just took the fucking.
Look, if
Who did it first? Was it Nintendo or Love Live?
If anything is, what?
Yeah, because Nintendo did that with fucking Fire Emblem Fates. What's it called?
It definitely was not Nintendo.
Yeah.
100%, it was not them.
I don't know.
In fact, I think they may have helped with. I don't know. That's
I kind of feel like they probably helped with that one. Right?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just happy that if anything can like indefinitely delay Berserk, it's Idolmaster. Nothing makes me happier. It's like, yeah, the author's just playing too much. You just won't write the next chapter. And they're on the boat. Click, 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 click. Ooh. SSR. Nice. Haven't gotten one of those in the last couple months.
Listen. You win enough awards for like
no fucking
most influential anime.
Play Idol manga.
It's the
manga.
Fucking it's the Japanese Game of Thrones, really. Like think about it. Like it's the situation where it's like we don't have the same scenario where there's a TV show that tried to end the Berserk saga beforehand, but it's the same scenario where it's like, no, I just wrote this really good, like super influential world. What the fuck else do I need? I'm just gonna fuck it up at this point, right?
That's fair.
Might as well just like dip out, like.
But see,
where else can you go at this point? The things that have already influenced Berserk, like by Berserk,
have been perfected by other things.
Yeah, like it's been done. He's seen shit. He's gone, well, I'm not gonna. Okay, well, fuck it.
Like, but here's the difference, and it's why I excuse Berserk and I don't excuse George R.R. Martin. Is because George R.R. Martin isn't playing Idolmaster.
That we know of.
If he just came out and said, "Listen, I'm sorry, I gotta do my pulls," fine, dude. Do your pulls. Don't finish the book. Whatever. It's fine.
That's what all it takes is if you're in the Gotcha Brethren, Max will give you.
You were watching Konosuba with them?
I watched them, but one episode with them.
Okay.
Hold on.
Regardless.
What?
Oh, you only watched one episode?
Just one.
Okay.
All I had was time for one.
All right. You give it 3.
I will.
Eventually. You don't have to rush, but eventually give it 3. Yeah.
Ghostwriting isekai light novel.
Good. Get the fuck on it. That's mostly what I've been doing. I've been playing things here and there. You all have seen my Mario Maker stuff, so you know what I've been doing there. Mm-hmm. Been streaming Shantae, The Pirate's Curse. That game is adorable. I really like it. Music's great. Art's great. Shantae's cute. Good. Nice. Good. Been playing Samurai Showdown still, on and off. And that's really kind of it. I haven't been playing too much. Listening, also really haven't been listening too much. It's mostly been the Fire Force opening and ending on loop, because fuck, they're so good. And this is a super late edition, because it happened last night. Ooh. But Jesse showed me, and I feel like you might have either told me about this on stream or off stream. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But he's like, hey Max, have you heard of Virtual Self?
Yeah. Porter Robinson and Medion, I think.
So I've been listening to Virtual Self.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
They're really great.
It's good. I love the PlayStation 1.
It's really good. Yeah. Luke took me to fucking school the other day. Because I love Porter. Porter Robinson's one of my favorite artists in the industry. Mm-hmm. But like when he was describing Virtual Self, it kind of came off like so fucking like just hole up his ass, right? Like, oh, yeah. I'm just so fucking.
You mean when Porter Robinson was describing it?
Yeah. So, but then like Luke totally was like, no, I know Porter. He's a good guy. I was like, oh well, if Luke says he's cool, then I'll be like, all right. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, Virtual Self's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's been everything I've been doing. I've purchased 2 books that I haven't started reading yet. I started reading one, I haven't started reading the other. I'm dragging my feet because I can't read.
It's the latest addition to the one that everyone... I feel so bad because you bring it up all the time.
And I always be real slick about it, and then you go, skirt, pump the brakes!
Yeah.
No, I picked up the latest volume of Sword Art and Sword Art Progressive.
Progressive is still going?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know what Progressive is, right?
That's the...
It's just Aincrad, floor by floor.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually
it's
probably fun.
It's really good. They go really in depth of what SAO, the video game, how it actually works. Because originally, they didn't. Because it was one light novel's worth. That's all Aincrad ever was.
Kawahara's still working on it?
Yes. Kawahara, he doesn't write the Gun Gale Online one with Len.
Oh,
he doesn't write that
alternative.
one. He doesn't write alternative, no. Yeah, so I can't comment. Progressive is still good.
Alicizzation's game is showing up at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
Then the next season of SAO is gonna be pretty wild.
You keep saying that every time.
It's gonna be because I told you.
You did.
I told you who the villain is and what his motive is.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a little wild. This is the point where I'm like, no, the light novels aren't making it less stupid. It'll probably be better, but it won't be less stupid. So please be excited.
So, okay, I think that, the more and more I've thought about it, and more I'm coming around to the fact it's like, I do think that while it's still stupid...
Yes.
I do think SAO is the Nickelback of anime, in the sense that someone said one thing, right? And goes, hey, this is kind of stupid. And it just fucking snowballed.
Hey, that guy I know said it's kind of stupid. Hey, that guy I know I said it's kind of stupid. Hey, that guy I know I said it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, Arcado or Digibro.
Yeah,
Fuck anybody who actually listens to Digibro.
Digibro. He's fucking with his Morpheus sunglasses.
Because I do go back and I'm like, I actually remember the time when I was super pumped when I first watched SAO Season 1. And I actually did enjoy him doing that thing.
The fucking Starburst stream?
No, worse. I enjoyed him fucking that dude up in the parking lot. I thought that was great. And I remember, and it took me a while to go, did I ever like Sword Art? And I said yes. Because I shit you not, Max, SAO was the first anime I watched back and front, all in full in a day. I just remembered.
New arc. Hipsters on Purpose Shippuden starts now.
Because it was one of those things where it was like, I watched it when it first came out, and it was super popular, and I was on board. Yeah. And at the time, I had already told everybody, I was like, I don't like ALO. I think it's a bad arc.
ALO is a bad arc.
I like the way it ends. I think it's fine how it ends, and I'm glad to see what happens in Gun Gale. And then through fucking public opinion and through just talking to so many people and having that conversation, going, yeah, well,
you gotta.
Oh no, you're right. Like that's the kind of like situation.
But you gotta think because I did the opposite. Is because I blindly talked shit about it for the longest time, and finally I was just like, let me just sit down and watch it.
Right.
And I was like, no, I kind of like it.
Yeah. So while I will always in my heart occasionally hit you with that mix up,
and
I will come to you with my chains and say, it's only because I was your brother. It was only because I too was there and that I can say these things.
And I will accept all incoming attacks, for I know until one other person actually reads those things that I will know the true truth. The truest of truths. Nobody knows the Black Swordsman like I know the Black Swordsman. Oh, man. You guys should really tune into that 24-hour stream.
You really should.
Because I have a bit that I've been waiting to reveal for maybe 8 months.
Oh my god.
That will be getting revealed.
Oh no.
God. Hey, Phil, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Oh, hey. So, in terms of watching, obviously no anime.
Fair.
2 things that come up to mind. There is one video I really like, and I took it seriously because it was sold as seriously as possible, but at the same time still having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Evangelion timeline video?
No.
So Crunchyroll had this random guy come on. And he was
saw that. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, it's actually fantastic. I really enjoy it because it opened up the world of like I had no idea that Neon Genesis Evangelion Apocalypse Campus existed.
You didn't know
No.
that Shinji and Kaoru worked to stop a school shooter?
No.
You didn't know?
No,
That's
and then
never
they
come up
and
in
the
our friendship.
Avas were stands. I had no fucking idea.
I thought you knew, that's why I didn't tell you. Oh man.
Oh, dude, my whole life opened up. I was like, I can't believe that Shinji's inner power is gun.
Yeah. Yeah. What about are we gonna do a live audiobook of the Shinji Ikari Racing project?
Oh my fucking god.
Oh great. So many new jokes have been opened
When
up.
fucking what's his face? The guy that Misato has the father complex with puts him in the fucking makes him just looks exactly like his mom. Oh my god.
I need to make it very clear that I love Evangelion as a property probably more than any other property that's ever existed.
Right.
Episodes 1 through 26, End of Evangelion, Rebuild 1. Everything else is the dumbest shit. I still love it.
So this video is actually really fantastic because what this video does is it goes, and it even includes... So the way he says it, it's like, okay, this is the primary timeline. This is Third Impact does not happen timeline. This is the school arc timeline. And the way he says it is like, Third Impact happened.
Yes.
When Third Impact happened, essentially, because of the way that it panned out, Shinji thought of several different universes and several different possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how it worked out. And it's fucking hilarious because he just has a timeline that goes, this is cash money. This is when Shinji just wanted to be fucking rich. And it goes into the pachinko timeline, to the advertisements, to all do the fucking collaborations.
Okay, I need to see this video.
It's a really good video. Yeah. I love it to death now. And the way he says it is, it all comes together. He goes, Apocalypse Campus revealed that Yggdrasil's a thing, and that Yggdrasil has many branching dimensions and realities, and that Kaoru may be from the Apocalypse Campus. Kaoru may be the one who goes to fucking Ava, the primary timeline.
So he falls in love with Shinji in Apocalypse Campus.
Yeah.
Then goes to regular Ava.
No, so they said they do that. He goes to another timeline where he doesn't like Shinji, like the manga timeline.
Yeah.
And the manga timeline ends and it has the Third Impact happen there.
Yeah.
And then that Kaoru from the manga timeline shows up in the primary anime timeline. Mm-hmm. And that's why he still why he loves Shinji, because he was able to form that relationship that we didn't see. Like it was like easy for him to click on. You'll see it. You know, when you watch it, it's 56 minutes. It was the best dinner I ever had. I was like, this is gonna be stupid. At the end of it, I was like, I like this guy. I want to see more. Yeah. I really enjoyed the whole thing.
It is worth saying that I had started watching Evangelion on Netflix. Yeah, it might not be worth it.
Really?
It might still not be enough. Like we need the original. Like the stuff that because I started just kind of skipping through it to see what goes on ahead. Looks great, sounds great. Voice acting lines are just as stilted as the old ones were. They're just more higher profile actors now. Like, it didn't need to be redone. I don't know why it was redone, because it's not an improvement, and it just changes the stuff I liked and remembered. But the bit that got me was in End of Evangelion, where Shinji's like going up to Asuka and is like, I just want to be with you because I love you and I think we should be together. Like, not the point. Was not the point of that scene ever. Right. And it's like, maybe if it was just the Kaworu thing, maybe if it was just not having Fly Me to the Moon, maybe if it was just one of these things, but all together.
Yeah, I think I wholly disagree with the Super Beast Boys when they said, like, oh, it's the same. It's like, no, it's not. Like, the experience is just not going to be the same.
Without the ending credit scene?
Without that, I mean, just a lot of people, they go back and forth and they're like, oh, it was so terrible, blah, 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 blah. It's like, actually, that really defined a lot. And, like, Otto has even gone on to state that he likes the OG's fucking interpretation. So, like, what the fuck are people talking about when they say some shit like the literal translation was the way that it was meant to be? Because Otto himself has been like... Well, then again, Otto's the kind of person who just doesn't give a shit anymore.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care
about you.
So...
He doesn't like you.
So, you know, I'll say, like I said it before, I 100% stand by my original, possibly controversial tweet of I put localization over literal translation.
Yeah.
I did the little, like, greater than equal sign, and I put it towards localization.
Guess what? Yakuza was a much more successful series once they started doing a full localization.
Right.
Instead of these weird translate, like... It has to be localized, because there isn't a direct translation between Japanese and English.
There isn't. There isn't. It sounds fucking weird. It sounds stilted and dumb and not... And it's not like a fault of the, you know...
I love Shinji Ikari, the third children.
Fucking stupid.
He's the third... He is the third children.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's stupid. And I don't understand how people are going to keep continuing to fund it. Like, it's just... It's Japanophile syndrome. Like, just like, no, I gotta have it all. I gotta have it. It's like, dude, okay,
but
sure.
The thing is, like, people don't like it either. Like, I just don't get why you didn't just include... You want to do a new dub? Fine, great. Just include the original one.
It's the fucking Silent Hill HD collection problem.
Yeah.
Where it was like, what? Why? What are you fixing? You think that thing was broken? I'm okay. Inherently, like,
no.
Yeah, it was definitely not
You
the
could have
best.
just stretched it. Just fuck it. Just put it on a PS3 disc and stretch it.
Arcana actually had aka Glass Reflection, actually had a really interesting video on this when he was like, actually, this isn't the only one that did this. Gurren Lagann did this as well. With ADV before, I forget the one that had the one who actually won out. Who's in charge of Gurren Lagann's translation right now, localization? Because it wasn't ADV.
Aniplex?
Yeah, I think so. So like ADV films before they got fucking like shit canned.
Yeah.
Had the original like. They also did like some of the stuff for Virgil Ava, and Yoko was actually played by the same voice actress as Asuka from Ava.
Huh. Now I don't know which one I've... So you're saying there's two dubs of Gurren?
There's two dubs of Gurren.
What the fuck?
But there's only one. The other one goes up to episode 8, and if you watch that video, it's actually pretty interesting to look at because it's the different interpretations of the like the Leon, the gay character. He's not as like...
I forget. He's not as flamboyant.
He's not as super flamboyant. Yeah. He's still like obviously gay.
Effeminate. Yeah.
But he's not... They give him just another traditional voice, and then the card is like, it's just very interesting to see like the different takes of localization. Like Steve Blum's interpretation of it was like hard into the flamboyancy, and his was more of like a kind of straight-faced, I'm, pretty man, but like, hey, I'm gonna tell you how it is, like, which is, it works for the character too. Like, it works how it was looking.
Do they call him Simon in either of them?
Yes, actually. So that's the one thing he did say. He goes, the ADV one was bad because it has Simon instead of Simon.
No, it's supposed to be Simon the Driller.
Is it? Are you sure?
They just can't say Simon in Japanese. That's the problem. That's the only problem I have with Gurren's dub, is they call him Simon. But his name is Simon. Simon.
Yeah.
They call him Shimon.
Yeah, maybe.
No, definitely.
All right.
His name is Simon the Driller.
So in terms of watching, I did that, and then I watched one other thing, and that was it. Which I'm going to completely go into new territory because you don't like these kinds of films.
Okay.
And he turned his fucking headset off. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm not just a thing. So I watched Midsummer. Midsummer
is that the really bright horror film?
So it's not horror. It's not really conventional horror.
It's artsy frou-frou fluff.
Nah.
For the Academy.
No. I don't even know what to call it. So
it's unsettling.
Yes, that's it. It's creepy. It's a creepy fucking
You don't
movie.
go, huh? You go,
yeah, I'm probably going to spoil some of it right now. I wouldn't even call... No, not Silent Hill horror, because it's still... It's so fucking... The more and more I think about Midsummer, the more and more I'm like, okay, it's actually kind of fucking stupid. So Hereditary was one of my favorite fucking horror movies of last year.
Okay.
And it was done by the same guy. Now, the thing with Hereditary is that Hereditary was fantastic until the last 15 minutes, where it literally, I can show you the scene.
Is that the one where they go, it's ghosts at the very end?
Yes.
Boo.
Boo, yeah. There is one scene where like they lean into the it's ghosts, and I want to show it to you because I know you hate it, but you're going to immediately laugh your ass off because the scene, the way it's set up perfectly. And then they drop the ball so hard because essentially the mother character gets possessed,
yeah,
and she's just on the wall and the way it's like a faraway shot, and you see like the son just kind of looking around, and it takes you a second, and you're like, what the fuck is that in the wall? And they never she doesn't move. It just hangs long enough for you to see it, and you're like, oh no. Yeah. But like when he looks over to see her, she fucking doggy paddles out of the air, like in the air, out of the shot! And you're just like, what the fuck was that?
She hits him with the Devilman Crybaby. She's doing the fucking... You play this.
No, Devilman Cry 1 and 2. That's what she hits him with.
You play the Scooby-Doo sound over it.
It's so fucking bad. But the rest of the horror movie, I'm telling you, it's one of the most effective character studies of how a family, like how someone deals with grief. This one had an intro that didn't pan out at all for the rest of the movie. So the movie establishes that there's this woman who is having like a fucking, like she's a little bit like a scatterbrain. She's very all over the place, kind of spastic.
Yeah.
And she's talking to her boyfriend, and she's like, oh, I'm really worried. My sister sent me this weird email. She said it's getting really dark. Mom and dad are coming too. I'll see you later. Blah, blah, blah. And like it's just like trying to establish like a relationship between the two main characters, Danny and her fucking boyfriend, who I forget, Jordan, I guess. I'll call him Jordan. And it's a 15-minute long scene about this whole thing, and he's just like talking with his friends. He's like, man, well, you gotta leave that bitch. She doesn't even like sex. Traditional fucking conversations that men have.
Just convos with the boys.
Yeah, just with the boys, and they talk about how they're gonna go to a festival sometime in the near future in Sweden or wherever the fuck this thing is located. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be so cool. We're gonna fuck so many fucking hot Swedish babes. It's gonna be so fucking cool. And then like, fucking, he answers the phone to just guttural fucking screaming and like crying, and it hard cuts to the house where the daughter set up the most ridiculous contraption. She turned the fucking cars on in the garage, and then just tubed up the carbon dioxide pumping out of the fucking like garage to the parents' bedroom, killed them, and then she just has one fucking mask on her face just sucking in that carbon dioxide. And it's a very weird like scene.
It's not how that works.
Yeah, no, that too, but like,
because homes have vents.
Right. Yeah, no, that too. You see like tape at the bottom of the door, like that's as much as you get. That's as much as you get.
That'll do it. Okay, no, I'm sorry. My bad.
So they basically fucking turn around and they're like, it's going to be a story about suicide. Nope. It's a story about relationships and cheating, and it's actually a parallel to music festivals and what happens there, and oh my god,
all sorts of things I can relate to.
Right, so
it
doesn't know what it wants to be half the fucking time, because it establishes that the main character. So obviously, like, they go over there and they're a bunch of crazy, party kids. So they, the first thing that happens is their European friend, who, of course, it's the European friend who's like super pumped. Like, originally the girl wasn't gonna go.
Yeah.
She ends up going, oh, okay. I guess I didn't know you were gonna go, and she like edges her way into going to the Midsummer Festival with them all, which was just supposed to be the boys.
With
that
the
was
dudes.
it. Yeah.
The bros.
And
dude, why'd you bring your walking wood?
And the European guy is like super creepy. Like, I'm actually very pumped about you showing up. And she's like, oh yes, doesn't think anything of it, and they start taking drugs.
She's the only chick.
Yes, well, she's the only chick in that crew.
Okay.
And then there's another group of people that like they, all kind of like so
yeah.
basically
Steven shows up and says, "Yeah, I'm glad you're here."
Yeah. So. They show up to the actual place, and it's all very like idyllic, and everyone's wearing white, and they're all chanting and having like a little thing, and they're like, yeah, we're here to just fucking party, it's gonna be a good time. And then they one of the characters like knows a lot about like Eastern European culture or wherever it is,
yeah,
and he's like, he gets told something by the European guy, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna have this tomorrow, and he goes, like, a real one? He goes, yeah, as real as it gets. And they all like, what are you talking about? Is it scary? And this motherfucker does the dumbest shit and just smiles and goes to bed. So what ends up happening is that the very next day they have dinner, and there's like this weird ritual thing that's going on. 2 old people show up, and they're all just kind of like, okay, all right. And they go off, and they realize that apparently in their culture, when you hit the age of 72, you're done. That's it. Hey, that's the point.
Nice round even number.
Yeah, it's the point where it's like,
9.
yeah, it's like, oh, we look at life in 4 seasons. At the end of the season, at the winter season, you die. No, he literally just does the throat slit at like animation. Essentially, he just kind of does it with this like, hey, and the main character's like, oh, that's funny, haha. No, these 2 people jump off a fucking cliff, and then kill themselves. And one of them, and that's like the first gory part of the movie, and one of them does it and like breaks his leg, and he's still alive, and the fucking village people come up and start beating his head in with a hammer, and everyone is understandably upset, and they're like, no, we're sorry, and she's just like, the main maiden mother is like, why didn't you tell them what was going to happen? And he was like, oh, like he just fucking throws his hands up in confusion.
I thought he was kidding. And then they all went home after that extremely traumatic experience. They said, oh, no, I'm done.
No, so they tried to go, like, there was another couple that shows up with the European guy. His name's Pele. That's all I remember. Pele's fucking brother. He brought some other people with him, too. And they're like, get the fuck, we're out, we're done.
Yeah.
And that's they used that couple to establish, like, oh, something really weird is happening, because why would he leave without me? He goes, oh, well, the truck just didn't fit more than 2 people. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like, we'd be the 2 people. Or we'd be neither of the 2 people.
Yeah. I could just run. So the whole thing is establishing that, like, I guess the idea of the Midsummer Festival is they need new blood sacrifices.
Weird cult shit.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
And but the way it ends is so fucking surreal. And at first it annoyed me, because the fact that the way that the theater reacted was, I was like, they're removing, like, I thought it was going to be creepy, and the more and more I thought about it, I was like, no, this is completely fucking hilarious. Subplot: there is a young girl who's super into the main character's boyfriend.
Okay.
They have a whole fucking thing where, like, there's like sick rituals she's doing. douses her period blood in his fucking orange juice one day. It's awful. It's really gross shit.
I'm not a huge fan of blood oranges
either.
So,
no. So, they establish it's like, oh, hey, we're going to do... So, they fucking separate them. At this point, it's just these two.
Yeah.
And they're just like, hey, where are our friends? And they're like, they fucked off. And they're like, well, oh.
No. Where are our friends?
No.
Never. You're not allowed.
No, well, not never. They talk about it a little bit, but then they kind of just fucking like, whatever. So the
movie happens.
The village girls kind of adopt the main character Danny, and they're like, they actually like her, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do this thing in part of our culture where we dance until we drop, and whoever is left standing last is the Midsummer Queen.
Okay.
Of course, Danny wins.
Yeah.
And she becomes the queen. But, like, Jordan, her boyfriend, is all the whole while they're, like, handing out LSD fucking drinks, essentially.
Yeah.
And this guy's having a bad fucking trip. And at this point, they fuck off, and they're like, hey, we're going to go do a ritual with her. She's got to go do something real quick.
Yeah.
And she's like, can Jordan come? And they're like, no. And she's like, okay, I guess. And she goes off with them.
As much as I hate gore... The part I hate about horror movies is the okay, I guess.
Yeah,
part.
It's stupid. It's fucking dumb.
Because, okay, the old people jump off a cliff. I'm going to pick a direction and just start walking.
Yep.
Wherever I go. But it's better than here.
Yep.
So I'll just go that way. And if I die, then I made an attempt.
Yep. So they're going, and so Jordan's left there.
Yeah.
And he's having a really, really bad fucking trip. Mm-hmm. But the woman, the little girl, or the 15-year-old to 16-year-old girl who was like, oh...
Sounds like the Adobe Creative Cloud notification.
Apparently. She fucks off, and like, he's left there, and someone just starts putting rose petals at the ground. And they're like, follow us. So now they're using Danny as like okay, she's the queen now. She's for Pele now. And Jordan's now the sacrificial nut lamb that they use, basically de-virginize this young girl. He's fucking tripping balls, and they give him an aphrodisiac to give him the hardest dick. And they're like, dude, just take this rub, go in there and do your business. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? So they open the door, and you hear chanting behind this door. And they open the door, and it's a slow pan. And the flower petals lead to essentially like almost like a awful nativity scene like thing, but instead it's just the naked girl right there. But she's surrounded by village elders who are like women who are also completely fully nude. Like old granny titties, like all up in your grill.
Yeah, they're going next week.
Right, and then like he's showing up, and then just full frontal male nudity, just derobes. I see that man's dick now. Right. So he shows up and he's like, I guess I gotta fuck her now. So he starts fucking her, and they start chanting, and they're like super into it. Danny's off doing some fucking shit. She's doing the roll dance.
They're doing the roll dance.
She's doing
God
the roll dance with her homegirls on the fucking other side.
Oh, I was thinking the grannies.
No.
The
The grannies are worse. The grannies are listening to them moan, and now they're moaning in tune with them. At this point, the entire theater is erupting in laughter. It doesn't, and it only gets worse because this Jordan guy is still high, still fucking, and then like one of the villagers grabs his face, and his face of like the look of pure like shock and abject terror, and like, I'm gonna fucking die, I'm gonna fucking blow. And he's just fucking going. And he just starts... And the village elders are moaning the whole fucking time. And so Danny shows up. And they're like, okay, Danny, go back to your room. We're going to get ready for the fucking festivities again. And she's like, hey, what's all that fucking ruckus? So she fucks off. And she's like... And they're like, I don't think you should fucking go in there. And she's like, I hear some crazy shit. I'm going to go look. And it cuts to a scene from the trailer where she's looking through the keyhole. You don't see what she's seeing, but you know what's on the other side of the door. And the whole movie, she's been having these like massive, awful panic attacks. And she sees that and just has it. And she just starts screaming. And then it goes into just full-on crazy surreal mode where she fucks back to her fucking, like, she throws up on the ground. Her homegirls, her new village homegirls, grab her and pick her up, put her in a room, and she's yelling. And they start yelling with her. And they're just yelling at each other. And it's just, ah! Ah!
I'm getting stressed just listening to this.
So while this is happening, the movie then hard cuts back to the village elders now screaming in tandem with the girl. Ah! Ah! One of the grandmothers, I shit you not, goes up behind Jordan, grabs his ass, and starts pushing him into her. And she's like, fucking nut! Fucking just get in there! Just spread that fucking seed, homie! Just fucking, ah! Ah! And then finally, he fucking nuts.
It's been like 40 minutes.
He nuts. It's a 10-minute scene. And this bitch grabs her fucking legs and starts rolling back and forth. I can feel the baby in me. And he goes, oh fuck. And he runs. He runs, trips over his actual dick. And he's grabbing his fucking shit. And he's like, whoa, what's going on? And he's running to and fro. And he finally gets to a fucking enclosure, a farm building, where it just so happens that the guy that was missing from earlier, the one guy who's like, I'm fucking out of here, for whatever reason, this is where the horror imagery comes back into play. And he's hung up, strung up, and his insides are on the outside. But then it closes in, and his lungs are still moving. So he's still alive. And then Jordan gets fucking knocked in the face. Hard cut. It's one of the main village people's like, okay, wake up. And opens his eyeballs, and he's fine. He's just sitting in a wheelchair. He's just fucked up beyond all belief. But now it goes over to the Midsummer Queen, Danny, who is covered head to toe in fucking shrubbery. like ritualistic shrubbery, and she's just fucking pissed. And they go, okay, the blood sacrifices have been made, but there needs to be one more. The Midsummer Queen will now choose the blood sacrifice that will end it all.
And so the human bush
chooses her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah,
who they put inside of a bear's body. They skin the bear, they get all that, you put him inside the bear's body, paralyze him, then set him in a fucking room and set it on fire. And as the room is burning and there's people screaming, Danny's screaming too. And the entire village starts screaming. And the movie ends with her just looking like a giant bumblebee goddess shrubbery thing. Just and at this point I said, I think that was a place to end it.
I'm gonna skip it, but I'm glad you seem to enjoy it at least a little, to some degree.
I don't know
if you enjoyed it as a decent film.
No, it definitely wasn't. The more and more I think about it, I think it tried too hard to be like overly creepy. But it was just one of those really oof experiences that I don't think it's not something like Hereditary where it's like, no, honestly, watch Hereditary. It's one of the most...
It was a great movie until the ghost.
Yeah, like it's one of the most like emotionally gut-punching fucking movies you can like. You feel it in your gut. Like even the spooky shit, that like the spooky ghost shit, is still fucking like terrifying because it's all implied.
Yeah.
It's never like, and then it goes straight into doggy paddle through the air. No, this just starts. Like it takes about an hour and a half before anything starts. When it starts, it just goes into, oh, okay, this is weird. And then just you come out of the theater like, what did I actually fucking watch?
What was I here doing?
Yeah, exactly. So
you walked up to the Cinemark, and then you blacked out, and then you woke back up in the Cinemark parking lot.
If I could equate Midsummer to anything, it's if I decided in my fever-induced haze to try to pick up some Theraflu, but instead of honey, I accidentally dip a whole batch of acetaminophen mixed in with MDMA, and then just took a big swig of that, and then tried to go to bed, whatever would pop up in my head is what that movie was.
And then you looked outside at the hedges and you went, I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna
wear it or fuck it. Either way. Movie's very beautifully shot.
Does it actually have the white letterboxing? Because I thought that was really cool in the trailers.
Yes. So some not like all the time, but like there's definitely certain scenes where you kind of like it's not like full on letterboxing, but it's very, very bright. It's the most colorful movie I've ever seen. I'll tell you what.
Huh.
It's very, very bright. It's beautifully shot. The music and the sound's fucking fantastic. Like in terms of establishing tone and atmosphere, phenomenal.
The cinematography sounds great.
Phenomenal. Everything fucking else can just go home.
I don't know if the dick required a Dutch angle. Maybe it was to establish drama.
Or dominance. Like, I don't know.
It was to unsettle you. But the dick kind of already did the job.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm sorry it took so long to explain that, but I figured I really needed to get that out.
It's cool. I talked about anime for a bit. You got to talk about your weird sex things you saw with a group of people.
Speaking of
weird sex things.
No, there's no way.
There's no segue.
There's no segue.
New statement.
Nay, video games. Shadowbringers is the best Final Fantasy you'll never play.
Yes.
And send tweet.
Reply, sad emoji. Send tweet. Yes, everything you've told me about Shadowbringers is the coolest, hypest shit I've ever heard of, ever.
So Shadowbringers is the latest in the line of expansions for Final Fantasy XIV that we actually ended up streaming a little bit of. It was not a very popular stream, unfortunately, because I think a lot of people were really hyped about getting the storyline. I now know why, because I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV wrong all these years. I knew bits and pieces about the storyline. I knew enough to kind of keep abreast of the situations going on in the current situation, like conflicts and all that shit. And I tried giving Stormblood a try in terms of like sitting down and watching the storyline.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool, but like Stormblood has a lot of really terrible pacing issues. Shadowbringers is no joke. One of the best written, is probably the best written Final Fantasy in the entire franchise.
That is what I hear, and from what I've seen, the little bits and pieces, I would probably agree. It looks very cool.
Yeah. And the thing is that I would say you would just need a passing knowledge. Like I said, I went into it with like just the Comic Storian thing that I showed you. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested in that, Comic Storian is a fantastic channel. I think I brought it before. Mm-hmm. Really quick synopsis of the story brought me up to speed. I already had my personal kind of relationship with these characters. I went from looking at my MMO character as like, okay, it's just some fucking avatar I play, to this is a character I care about. This is a character that has spunk and moxie and is fun. And I'm the one playing it. And the characters around me are all also just as fucking phenomenal. And the antagonist that's trailing me is actually a dickhead, and I miss him. Yeah. After you do the big bad fuck him up thing, I miss him. It is hands. I cannot stress this enough. One of like, there's a scene I want to show you after this where you hear I've been showing Max scenes left and right.
You would come into the living room and you're like, dude, have you seen this? And you'd sit down and you'd start playing clips. So I'm like, oh, cool, Final Fantasy.
There's one scene that like solidified just how absolutely like stunning the voice cast and the writing and direction was. Mm-hmm. And it's right after a sort of attack that happens on a village. And there's a character, it's a bunny girl, Vera, who's been like, she's a super hard she's very strong, very like straight faced personality kind of type.
Yeah.
And she breaks mid conversation. Like she's telling you like she's screaming at you like, I'm good, I'm okay, and she breaks mid dialogue, and you're like, oh, every every emotion in my heart just floods out for this fake character.
For this fake bunny.
For this fake bunny girl breaking down in tears about how she failed her friends.
No.
And you're like, I'm going to kill whatever did this to you. And you do. Fuck that guy.
I'm going to circle strafe and hit Q.
Yes.
You cannot stop me.
Nope. But yeah, I think without going into super hard spoilers, it is a story that just kind of puts you into a whole new kind of world, like another dimension, as it were, where everything's reversed. So you're the warrior of light. You've been doing all your fucking work against Zodiark, who is like the primal god of darkness.
No.
And you show up and it's like, oh, light has actually fucked this place up to a point in which there are terrifying, abominable angel creatures just swooping up and eating motherfuckers, and people who they haven't eaten are turning into them. I showed Max the body horror clip of what happens when you turn into an actual Sin Eater, which is also a really fucking cool name.
And name my kid Sin Eater.
Yeah. And it was like Parasite Eve levels of ugh.
Yeah,
like
things are gross.
They're fucking gross, and it's just, oh man, it's one of those just awful things that you watch, and it gives you the correct amount of motivation, and it does the thing where it's like it kills a character that's a side character, but it makes you feel enough for that character, like, God damn it, why did that have to happen?
I know you were made to die,
You
but
are
I'm still upset.
All the red shirts that appear in this fucking Final Fantasy 14 expansion are the best red shirts in any game ever.
They're so stylish.
They're
Whether it be their red
stylish.
tank tops or red crop tops. They will all die, and you will feel sad for all of them.
In terms of gameplay changes, Machinists I've grown so much more in love with it. The more I was touch and go there because of the fact that I'm a meta monster when it comes to MMO stuff. Yeah. I think that Final Fantasy 14 has unfortunately turned me into that for a little while. But they specifically said with this expansion, we want to get rid of that. We want people to play the class they want to play, and they did a lot of changes to make that happen. Problem is the way that like latency is handled in Final Fantasy 14. Machinist has a skill that essentially it's called Heatwave. And what Heatwave does is that you have these two things called off global cooldowns. And essentially your skills work off a global cooldown that's 2 seconds.
Yes.
And it essentially cycles through a bunch of stuff. And that's kind of like your 1-2-3 combo. Okay, 1, 2, 3 after every 2 seconds.
Okay.
But then, like, in between those, you can do things called OGCDs, off global cooldowns, which is like you weave in, you press another thing so you can get more damage out in those 2 second frames that you have.
I see.
So the heat wave actually makes it so you decrease the timer on those OGCDs that you have, the 2 for the machinist, by 15 seconds.
Oh.
So the idea is you're constantly spamming buttons, and you're supposed to, within that wave, get 5 heat wave motions out for optimal damage.
Okay.
Problem is, latency is all over the place. Netcode has always been a problem with Final Fantasy. So for me, I was like, oh, Machinist is just, it's got really inconsistent fucking damage. And then, as I'm literally leveling up a summoner to play, fucking Matt decides to come up to me. Our boy Matt goes, hey, did you see the latest parses in the 99th percentile? I was like, no. And he shows me and he goes, yeah, Machinist definitely clocks a hell of a lot over Summoner, so you may want to stick with Machinist. I was like, motherfucker. Okay. And I did, and I'm right back in. I was like, oh, I'm fucking. And it's always good. It's like, it's against the rules, kind of, but Matt has a parse thing, which allows me to see how much damage I'm doing. And he's always like, Matt's the best hype man anyone can ask for. Just in the middle of battle, let's go, Phil, beating that black mage. Let's go. It's so good. I've enjoyed every single thing I've done in Final Fantasy 14 so far. But battle wise, now there's so much more to it, like the crafting and glamour and all that stuff that I'm not really into. But I think at this point, it goes without saying that not only is it the highest scoring on Metacritic Final Fantasy in the last decade.
Yep.
It's also one of the best MMOs out there.
Yep. It's the highest scoring game this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Crazy.
think that if you haven't been into Final Fantasy, give it a shot. If you're in MMOs and you've been kind of hesitant because you hear like how slow the process for Realm Reborn is, it is slow.
It's
kind of a
monstrously
slog.
slow.
It's kind of a slog because there's a lot of content to go through.
My hundreds of hours are only in Realm Reborn.
Right. So you can kind of speed those things up. I would say the journey is worth it because once you get the Shadowbringers, fuck. I mean, like it is.
Yeah.
And in terms of like presentation too, the music I've been showing Max, where it's like it's so all over the place, and
especially
it's
when
so
you
perfect.
go to the weird past civilization Art Deco museum aquarium dungeon
where
where you fight the street sharks.
You fight street sharks, and the final boss is Final Fantasy VIII's Quetzalcoatl. Oh no!
You got the foot cramp.
Yeah, I got a foot cramp.
Fucking hate that.
Oh god.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm
So,
glad you all like it.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you.
It is definitely an experience where I'm like, I wish I could share this with the world, and I can't.
Yeah.
But if you are interested, now's a better time than ever. So, in terms of listening,
Oh man.
we've
It's
got
the
some
one.
things. One of my favorite e-girls, Peach Jars. That is actually.
What's she put in the jars?
I could show you later if you'd like. You know.
Oh shit. No thank you. I'm good.
They're not like real jars, like metaphorical. Like the jars are her hand, her butt, and they hold butt meat. And...
Is that what they're called?
No,
Jars? It's
no.
jars and jugs?
I tried.
Because jugs are jugs.
I tried
Jars-
living my life like a mile a minute, and I crashed immediately into a wall.
That's
so
fair.
Alright,
so
I gotta say,
Alright. So that Patreon girl.
Patreon girl kind of had like her thing is she's every time she does like thought stuff, she very clearly makes it like a thing to just make fun of it as well.
Okay.
She has a TikTok that she definitely uses to great memeability.
Okay.
And it's only going to get worse because you know who her new best friend is?
Who?
Paige.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So I'm very, very
The peaches are banding together.
If you remember the story about, like, if you watch the Castle Beast Super Beast podcast, where they talk about how Wooly got backed into a corner by those two.
It's her.
It's her.
Oh. Okay.
So, one of her videos was like when you're trying to be a thought, but your cat just, and she has a song playing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a new artist through that song. Yeji, Yaegi, or Ji, I'm sorry. The one that she was playing is called Rain Girl, and it's like a Japanese. I think she's a Japanese artist who does a lot of low tempo house music.
Okay.
Very fun stuff. I would consider it pretty good house music. I would hear this in the club a lot too.
Alright.
But at the same time, there's a lot of really fantastic, just melodic vibes that's going on. Very easy listening stuff. Wouldn't call her the female Joji, but it's in that same camp.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. You don't
Mostly
know Joji.
because no, that's mostly why I wouldn't.
Oh well, Joji is. You remember? I'm blanking on his real name. Everyone's gonna fucking eat me alive.
That was my plan, just to prove you're not a hipster.
No, he's
Just
good.
talk about the new Jonas Brothers song,
Papa
Phil.
Papa Franku? Who's that again? Filthy Frank.
Filthy Frank. Oh, okay.
So when he fucked off and did his music thing, he became like he used his real name Joji.
Yeah. Oh, I think I heard one of his songs on the radio actually when I was up north.
Yeah, he's
Crazy.
pretty popular, and he's got a lot of really awesome songs.
Good for him. That was a hard thing to get out of. Being
Yeah.
a weird pig suit guy.
Yeah,
but he's proof that anyone can do it.
I think it was the reverse Lady Gaga effect, where like Lady Gaga
Because Lady Gaga's mellowing out now, isn't she?
right, but she kind of like went into hardcore pop girl idol, and then came out of it like, I'm going to use this to spread my political agenda and also be an actress and also do this and also do that. And it's like, good for fucking you, because that's a world I would hate to be a part of. And that's how I felt with Filthy Frank, where it's like, after a while, the memes just get fucking old.
Yeah.
You know? I can tell you right now that hearing... I forgot the name of the old podcast. Fucking Frankie. After hearing Fucking Frankie for God only knows how many years, I'm very okay with that thing being as dead as it is.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine. I mean, people still fucking do. I still kind of do like the Filthy Frank memes when he fucking made "Oh Chin Chin That's" a popular thing to say. You know, but.
Nice.
Yeah, she's great. I like her music a lot. I listen to her a lot more. No kidding. Like I said earlier, I refound the Lost 4 Kids opening of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah.
The best line in that is her country is responsible for the holographic map. It's so good. Found another band called Roosevelt. The song I was listening to and I liked particularly is called Montreal. They're very much in the same vein of easy listening kind of funkadelic tunes as Tori Moi.
I like some funkadelic stuff.
Yeah, Tori Moi and Tame Impala. So if you like those two bands, you'll definitely like Roosevelt. They posthumously released, so you know Prince, right?
I've heard of the man.
Heard of the man, the myth, the legend, Prince. Wrote a lot of music for a lot of different people, but he didn't just write it. He went the full 9 yards and made a song for each and every song that he's written for these other artists.
Oh, so he would make his own version for the songs
and then give it to them so that they would bank it off of it. So they released that, and it's fucking phenomenal.
So
and it
new
shows
Prince
you
songs are still coming out.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and it's really good. And the song in particular that I really enjoy, Sex Shooter, which was made for an all-female band, and it sounds way better than them. It just sounds it's lyrics.
It's Prince.
It's lyrics for a female, and it fits, and it's great. And I love Prince. He's amazing.
Prince is pretty good.
That's
why he was royalty.
Hell yes. Another one.
You don't just get born into it, you know.
You do that.
No.
Yeah. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh,
yeah.
You do get born into
royalty.
royalty.
You do get.
That's actually the whole point, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes no.
Hey, you know this movie Rock and Roll? It's a old 80s movie that was kind of like people I think they sold it as adult Disney. It was crazy.
The one with the girl with the blonde hair and the white dress.
I think so.
I saw a gif of her recently.
Yeah, there's a song. So the biggest thing was like a bunch of artists back in the 80s did like original music for it. Earth, Wind, and Fire did a song called Dance, Dance, Dance for it, and it's one of the best Earth, Wind, and Fire songs that was never released until just recently.
Fair enough.
So I'm very happy that it's like I got a fucking of a super high quality audio recording of that. It's really good. Final two people I want to talk about are Sophie. There's another YouTuber I follow all the time. Love her to death. ContraPoints. Hard left politics. Incredible videos that are very much about dismantling every single part of that. But one of her videos was to talk about trans beauty and stuff like that, and it started off with a song from Sophie called Face Shopping. Very strange, very weird, very eclectic. I can't even begin to explain what exactly it is. It's Vogue meets dark industrial, essentially, and it's fucking cool.
Yep.
And I want to hear more of Sophie. Acrylo, ACRYLO, was introduced to me on stream. It's a guy who just takes hip hop music and mashes it up with anime music.
Oh.
It's fucking great.
Fair enough. We always need more warriors.
Yeah. It's fucking phenomenal. Ricky is from the Denzel Curry, his edit of it is actually better than the original song. and it's not one of those like awful fits.
Well, it's like
so much better.
It's like I don't ever want to hear "Hood Gonna Love It" ever again. What?
Yeah,
that song sucks.
Senpai gonna love it.
Senpai, yeah. Nipponstradamus. No, who's ever actually heard the original version of that song?
I have, unfortunately.
It's bad.
They're from Orlando.
Well, then they should have been from Japan. They would have taken off.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're completely correct. And that was it. That was my weeks leading up.
It's been a second.
We
got to keep the music one in, just so you guys remember what channel you're watching.
Right. So I guess we kind of report on news every now and again, too. I don't know how that's going to work out, considering the fact that...
This is the non-evergreen part of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to do that thing where we pretend that we've prepared, but really we're just scrolling through our website.
Really, the biggest problem is that E3 hit us with a lot of shit, and we're in that news cycle of the in-between phase.
E3 hit half of us with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Half of us are still waiting for news to be excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, we're in that in-between cycle where it's like that weird month-long phase between E3 and Gamescom, where it's like, okay, E3's where we announce it, and now Gamescom, where you're going to play it, and you're going to get a lot more gameplay footage and a lot more actual knowledge on it. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Gamescom's still not happening until the end of August, so
we're going to get EVO beforehand.
Yeah,
so
we're
we'll
definitely
get
going
my
to get some
E3.
fighting game news.
We'll get my E3 beforehand. I'm really excited to see the next version of Unist.
Oh yeah, I hope it's there. I hope that Daisuke brings fucking Guilty Gear.
I don't think. No.
We have to at least see a trailer.
No.
Well, no? Why not?
You're going to see the next Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle trailer. Because Cross Tag Battle is the one that's on finals. Which, hey, listen, if they were regularly adding stuff to that game, I'd still be playing it. I love that game.
It's a fun game.
But, the Guilty Gear players need a bone eventually.
Yes.
Xrd is pretty old at this point.
I just want to watch more Guilty Gear. That's really what it comes down to.
And then, other than that, I was talking with Jesse last night, playing some fighting games. I hope they announce the last season pass for Street Fighter V. The last one. And maybe a look at their next game. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I really do feel like the life cycle for that game has been long enough to where I wouldn't be turned off by them saying Street Fighter 6 is happening.
I wouldn't, but I'd rather them make a different fighting game instead. That isn't Street Fighter.
I want to see them actually not fuck up a Street Fighter first. That's the thing for me, is that like if they...
the thing is, Street Fighter in the place it's in now is fine enough. But I think they need a big thing.
It took literal years, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, now I'm done with Street Fighter because normally we had Ultra Street Fighter 4, but then we were also playing Marvel vs. Capcom on the side, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and so there was like a balance. It has just been Street Fighter, and then they tried Marvel, and it crashed and burned as much as I love Infinite. So, like, you need... Do your Capcom crossover fighting game. Please. 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 You'll do it for a card game, but you won't do it for fighting games?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Teppen's good. It's a good card game.
I think they're doing fantastic, and I'd love to hear like what Capcom's got on the table. I'm pretty sure it's Dragon's Dogma 2.
That's the thing. Everything they're doing is great, but fighting games.
Yeah.
So fix that shit. What are you doing?
Oh, and Iceborne's coming out soon,
it's the only thing that matters. Fuck Iceborne. Cancel Iceborne and make a good fighting game instead.
Yeah, no.
You can put Monster Hunter in that. You can wear an Arctic coat.
No, I'm good.
You can be called Iceborne Hunter.
I'd rather play Iceborne.
That's fair.
Every day.
For a week, and then you'll complete it, and then... The fighting games are forever.
Sure, buddy.
Speaking of forever, DC Universe
I was
Online.
just looking at that! I was like, we gotta have to bring it up. How? Who, better yet, who's still playing this fucking game?
I'll tell you who isn't. Switch players.
Yet.
Because it's coming to the Switch.
God.
I remember we had like a month where we did play DC Universe Online with the in the Go to Bed Discord.
Yeah.
And it was mostly just me and Drew and maybe Rave, I think. And like, I don't know. Maybe.
I think it's fine. I think it's the most fine thing I've played ever.
It's the only superhero MMO still going.
Oof. Don't say that.
Don't.
City of Heroes is making a resurgence.
Is it resurged yet?
Yeah, well, yeah. But not, like, officially.
Is it coming to the Switch? Who cares?
Oh.
Because it's not on the Switch, which is the best console and the best place to play games. So maybe do a little fact checking next time you're gonna make a stupid statement.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you like that dog. It's like, oh no, it's retarded. Oh no.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Everyone's still playing Marvel Heroes.
But they are though.
They're not, are they?
Yeah.
Does Marvel Heroes still get content?
Okay, so which one is Marvel Heroes again?
It's the Diablo-like.
The Diablo-like or the gacha game?
The Diablo-like. There's a Marvel Gacha game?
Yeah, Special Forces.
No, I'm not talking about Special Forces.
That's a gacha game, though.
Marvel Heroes is the Diablo-like.
No, I don't know what that is.
No, that's dead.
I know I saw some news about Epic Game Studio doing some shit. But...
Was it buying Tetris Effect for PC for the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, it was a lot. They're paying for the nose through a lot of shit, and I really feel like I get it, man, but
I know. It no longer makes sense to me because I heard the store still doesn't have a shopping cart.
Nope.
One person.
Nope.
Just take the money somebody spent on one game and just put it into the shopping cart.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
you know what the worst part is that now that there's a
Yeah.
person on the inside that I can get knowledge from, and that every time I ask, they're like, "How about that Fortnite?" It's like, oh no, it's never a good indication where it's like, let's relay, because first of all, it's not my area of expertise, and secondly, we're doing really well with it. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, fuck.
It just makes no sense. Like, if you just made the store usable, I'm sure no one would care as much. Like, all you have to do is take $1,000, hire a web developer for a weekend, just fix the store. That's it. Like,
No, it's the same problem that a lot of corporations have nowadays, where it's like, if you just present enough exclusive products, people will jump through the hoops to get them.
but the point is,
But
it's more...
also, if there are enough hoops, that may or may not just incentivize pirating as well. So it really just comes down to, well, yeah, it's like the mentality of, there's too many options and there's too many hoops. I just want the one fucking thing.
I want the monopoly.
I can no longer, like, say what you will about the whole thing. Say, oh yeah, it breeds better competition, but it's also like,
But when
I don't want to pay fucking... We talked about this last podcast, I think, with the Game Pass. I don't want to pay several different prices and look at my fucking, like, bank statement at the end of the month and go, what the fuck was I even paying for?
Like,
I
don't care if...
PayPal.
Like, if Xbox Game Pass charges $5 and that
Right.
causes Ubisoft to have their service that costs $3 instead, and that causes EA to lower their thing to $2 or whatever, I'm still paying like $9 a month now to play everything, when I could have just been paying $5.
Right.
And the thing is, like you said, like, just get more exclusives and people use the service. But it's so much cheaper just to make the service not good, usable. Just make it usable. Just add basic features that you could just do, and people will be like, oh shit, you updated the store. Okay, well, maybe I'll give it a chance now. Instead of, oh, you bought Shenmue 3? I don't want it anymore. And then having to go, okay, well, I guess we'll just refund your purchase. We will, and we'll cover the costs. Not, we'll try to improve the service. Not, hey, we won't buy Kickstarter games that are already funded to make it feel like you really didn't have to back to begin with. And then changing the option that you actually get it for. No, it's just, we'll just keep throwing money at you. We'll throw money at anything but the store.
No matter how many times I go about it, no matter how many times I keep thinking on it, when it's like, it is shady. No matter, it's what they're doing is fucking shady. And I get it. I get the business end of it. I get the concept behind it. It is not pro-consumer. I don't care who tells me what. I don't care from what side of the fence you're on. What's happening with Epic Game Store is a fucking travesty. And it's going to continue to be a travesty until they finally decide, like they said, like Max is saying, to sit down and fucking just make it usable.
That's it. Not good. usable. Things that online stores have had since the late 90s, when the internet was made, which was the 80s, but it didn't wide usage.
Shopping carts. It was a 10-year gap.
Huh?
It was a 10-year gap.
Sure.
Shopping carts.
Sure. I didn't make the internet, so you'll have to ask somebody else.
Espionage to titty.
But the point is, man, eBay has a shopping cart. eBay's been around for so long. All the problems that the store has have been solved by other stores. You're supposed to look at what your competition's doing and then see how you can improve on it, thus driving sales to your place. Because again, I've got 400 games on Steam. I'm not going to switch to the Epic Games Store.
Here it is. You ready?
What?
I'd rather play for EA Premier Access than, again, on accident.
Accidentally, just for Anthem.
That I would rather play Anthem than have to fucking buy anything on the EGS again.
Yeah,
which is a shame because I'm going to have to.
What?
Borderlands.
I'll probably just get it on PS4. I don't mind a controller. I'll deal.
I want that 60 frames.
It's 1 year exclusive.
I want that 60
So you'll get it on Steam eventually, and if that's not the case, I'll wait for Borderlands. I like Borderlands, not that much.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
I can wait a year.
I'll buy it on PS4.
Outer Worlds. Hey, oops. I barely cared about your game.
Goof, yeah.
Uh-oh.
What's worse is that people are just so hungry they just keep paying for it anyway.
Yeah. Not everyone can be like Sam's show, where it's like, why?
Wow, 80,000 copies, thanks.
Why settle for money worth 100,000 copies when our game's gonna sell millions? Said SNK 1 month before going bankrupt, which they didn't, because Samurai Showdown is selling really well.
Good.
Because guess what? They marketed that game super fucking well. All the trailers for that game were sick.
It's almost like you can have small successes. Yeah. Or not successes that aren't fucking, requiring...
But hey, if you're a developer...
millions of dollars in your pocket.
I was going to say, if you're a developer, though, and Epic Games Store comes up to you, just fucking take the deal. Why not? That deal's fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta say, here's the shitty part about it, is that, I really, really dislike it, but I can't be mad at the developers who constantly show up and they're like, we want money, because money is such a hard commodity to come by anyways.
Yeah.
But you, as a developer, now working under them, now have every right to basically say...
You make games for no one. Epic Games Store pays you to create games that very few people will buy, because they're mad at you now.
Yep.
But you got paid a lot.
Yep.
So, make games for 5 people.
Yeah.
Oh,
so is that it? It's getting late.
That's it. Late. 2 stories. Hold on, let's find the fucking JoJo Battle Royale got delayed to winter in Japan. Sorry, guys.
Whoopsie doodles.
Hey, get excited to see that Marvel Avengers gameplay everyone has seen for months on August 29th and the 30th?
I'm actually looking way more forward
August 26th and the 30th?
I'm actually looking way more forward to the Modern Warfare gameplay, because after seeing the 2v2 scenario and I'm going, oh, okay. So, that thing I said, I've been telling you for ages about how I hate how everything's going back to slower and slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw slower gameplay and I was really excited.
Okay.
Because it was very much like it was just like, god damn it, it looks like it functions again, and that's all I really wanted from Call of Duty.
But what if it functioned and you could run on walls?
I would love it, but they don't know how to do that.
So I'll play.
I'll
play that release of.
But what it looks like, right? But what it looks like, right? Where it's like, instead of trying to establish itself as like a crazy arena shooter, they're kind of leaning more towards, at least from the look of it, the Rainbow Six route. It looks a lot more like Rainbow Six Siege than it looks like traditional Call of Duty.
Huh.
And I'm very much into that. Very much into what's going on with that. So
fair enough. I
will see where that takes me in my life. Maybe it'll be another situation where I pre-order it again for the beta, forget, shows up at my doorstep. Oh no, I'm $60 out again. I guess I'll just have to leave this unopened forever again. Now, if it happens, 4th year in a row.
Wow. I didn't know you've been doing that for 4 years.
4 years.
Unfortunately, Tired Phil, there are 2 big things that we do need to end on. will go quick. They announced the Switch Lite. It's a Switch you can't dock, and it's a Switch you can't switch. But it's cheaper, and it has a longer battery life, and it comes in colors. Very colorful colors. Please be excited for a new Switch every 2 years with marginal improvements.
Hey, we really kind of fucked it because we really wanted to sort of double dip in the mobile market again. This is our way of doing that.
Hey guys, but don't worry, if you want a console, look forward to the Switch Pro, which is the Switch with a longer battery life.
What? Oh, there's
No.
No?
No.
What?
It costs the same price as a regular Switch, and it comes in a different box so you don't get confused.
So what's the Pro stand for?
It
Prolapse?
It's just the Switch. Comes in an all red box. Can you tell the difference? I can't.
No.
I have a box behind you with the Switch.
Oh.
So anyone looking forward to a Switch that could run games, sorry. And last but not least, PlayStation will be holding a 2-hour conference for China Joy 2019 on August 1st at 17:30 to 19:30 CST, which is a time that I have to assume exists.
I don't know what they could possibly announce. That'd be wild if they announced anything PS6 wise over there. PS5.
PS5 wise. I don't think they will. I think mostly what they're going to do is talk about the games they've been collaborating with. What's it called? What's the Chinese collaboration thing called? They've actually put out a whole bunch of hard things. Not Tencent. No, they had their own Chinese game developer initiative that they've been helping fund Chinese indie games to sell worldwide and stuff like that. It's probably going to be like a showcase for that kind of stuff. But hey, they might show new things. Yeah, I guess we didn't really need these.
Yeah.
But who knows? So maybe on August 1st, something cool will happen, or something cool won't happen. Maybe the PS5 will have better battery life.
At the very least, we'll know they're going to be at Gamescom, and I think it's been confirmed that PSX is happening this year. That's still kind of up in the air. There's a lot of like hearsay here and there, just that there's PSX rumblings happening, which would be, it's the perfect year because we know that Xbox One X is coming. There's no way PS5 is not coming out next year. There's no way that we're not going to get any more knowledge. And it's why I still stick strictly to the idea that what's going to happen is PSX is going to roll around, they're going to do the Switch thing, reveal it in December, and go, okay, it's coming out in March, so that it's going to come packaged with your fucking Final Fantasy VIIs. And be like, now you can play the best version of Final Fantasy VII ever. It's the fucking perfect way to get consoles off the fucking floor. Because you're going to sit there and say, it's backwards compatible. Buy your PS4 copy of Final Fantasy VII and it'll look 10 times better than on the PS4 Pro. Very simple. Very simple. It doesn't make any sense to make any more to spend any more time trying to create cross-generational games. Just lean harder into that backwards compatibility thing. We know how badly it worked out for fucking everybody else when the Destiny thing happened and a whole bunch of shit. It's the smartest move that I hope they do. I don't know if they will, but it's the only move that, to me, makes the most amount of sense.
For me, it's not the only move that makes the most amount of sense. It's like, if you don't do something by the end of the year, you lose. You've lost.
Because I'm going to buy an Xbox at this point. Like, it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, I will now. First of all, Halo's coming out, and it's already confirmed to be a launch title. That may change. We still haven't seen gameplay of Halo Infinite at all.
Yeah.
I don't know when there could be possibly another reveal. Maybe at Gamescom they have a different, like a behind closed door demo that we can hear about. But I just think it's getting to the point where games are now requiring such a substantial amount of power to run and put through that it makes more sense to just say, hey, here's our new box that can play game better. It's fine.
I want to put my PS3 disc in it. That's an ideal. Let me put the old discs in it. I know you can do it. I know you can at least let me put the PS2 discs in. And you play PS2 games. Because PS4 can do that. So just let me do it. I own the game already. I want to play Crash Twinsanity I want to play Eve of Extinction on my PS5 in 510 8K.
Do you actually have Eve of Extinction?
Every single time I bring it up, you ask. I show you the box.
We gotta play Eve of Extinction.
I can just nail it to the wall.
Yeah.
To the whiteboard.
We gotta play it. We gotta do it.
Right through the disc hole.
We gotta do it.
Man, what if Halo Infinite's like
Bad?
bad?
I don't know. That's
if-
what happened with 5, and guess
if-
what? I went back and played Master Chief Collection.
What if Halo Infinite comes out and it's like Halo Builder, right? Because the Halo's destroyed, right? So like Master Chief, we got to rebuild the Halo, and it's like a weird Forge mode thing, and it's infinite because it's randomly generated, and you got to rebuild the Halo.
Is it different every time you play it?
It's a different Halo every time you play it because where you drop on the Halo changes, but we got to rebuild it. And Cortana's like, I'll give you 20,000 credits if you build a Griffball court. If you can get the Rooster Teeth guys to play on your home base, you'll get a special achievement. You'll get the Recon helmet.
Hipsters on purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You know what, Max? I don't know what I would do. I don't.
We'll just have to wait and see.
That's such a wildly crazy hypothetical. I don't even know which direction I would start.
Yeah, but it's incredibly logical because when they have the Battle Royale mode, they'll already have the building mechanic in place.
It's called Forge.
Yeah, Forge Royale.
Oh.
Dropping 3,
2,
1.
1. Hipsters on purpose. Welcome back.
Forge Night. Okay, that's what we end
I'm
on.
blacking out. I'm having a fucking panic attack as we speak.
No, you've looked through the keyhole. Oh no. And make sure you're looking through the keyhole this Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our 24-hour live stream, where not only will we be able to see Super Mario Maker 2 World 2, but other stuff.
There is one thing we keep throwing around that Max is very hesitant on.
I'm very against it.
But
I've gone from hesitant to full against.
But he also...
But if I don't think of a better idea before then, it will happen, which is the most terrifying part of all.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. It's my favorite one. It's my favorite idea. I'm sorry. I'm fucking your guys' ears up. I'm out of here. I'm going to bed.
You can't. The mic's in front of you.
Oh,
so you're stuck forever. Welcome back to Not Another Podcast, episode 27, where today will be...